morning, everyone. It's Monday again, and like almost every Monday, here I am sharing some moments of inspiration with you. Today, I would like to discuss something that was asked of me this last few days. I am in Panama, and I had a few talks, a few presentations with some of my readers because we were presenting some of my books here in Panama. And there was a question that came up a few times, and that has come up throughout the years in many of my presentations, something that I thought might be interesting and worth approaching here. A lot of people ask me, what is it that I can do to help inspire and motivate others? What can I do to help others become more optimistic, to regain their optimism? Well, as you know, I am the author of The Optimist in You, which is a handbook that helps people recover their lost optimism and enhance their motivation and regenerate their energy. I would like to answer that question here for you today with at least two comments that I hope inspire you and give you some insights into what this actually means and what can be done, if anything. The first part of my answer is that you can basically do nothing. No, I'm kidding. There is something you can do. Human beings, according to Humanology, keep and treasure everything that makes them whom they are in what we call their personal spheres. Other people call them different things, but in Humanology, we call them personal spheres. And personal spheres are that non-existent place, because it's somewhere in our brain, where we treasure and keep everything that is ours, that makes us whom we are, and that is not shareable with others and that others cannot take away from us. You can say, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Well, imagine that I start telling you about yesterday. Well, yesterday I was at this mall, El Dorado, here in Panama, and this lady approached me and she wanted to know about, I'm telling you about my memory, right? I'm sharing my memory of yesterday with you. Does that mean that my memory is suddenly yours? No, it doesn't, does it? Does that mean that I'm somehow giving you my memory? No, I'm just telling you about my memory. But my memory remains mine and only mine. I can't make it yours, and you can't make it yours either. Everything that we have in our personal sphere can be spoken about, can be talked about, but that doesn't mean that we can share it with anybody, and that doesn't mean that anyone can take it from us. And when I speak about memories, everybody says, yeah, sure, that's clear. But what about thoughts? What about feelings? You know, a lot of people say, you know, he made me feel so angry, or he made me so angry. And I say, really? That person has that power to really get into your personal sphere and somehow trigger that response in you? Or is it rather you choosing to react that way to what the person's doing or saying? You know, in Humanology, we defend that we all choose to react whichever way we choose to react, and that nobody can make us react any given way. It is true that some people know our triggers, and they do whatever they know it's going to trigger our triggers. But does that mean that they are pushing the buttons? No. It means that you're allowing it. It means that you're actually pushing the buttons based on what they are doing. If it were that easy, you know, we'd get everybody that we wanted to fall in love with us, or to react whichever way we wanted them to react. So no, it's not that easy. A person does something. How we take it and how we choose to react to that is our prerogative and our power. And it is only in our personal sphere that is housed and kept. I usually give examples, you know me, so I'm going to give you an example about this. Imagine somebody tells you, and please pardon my French, okay, because I want to give a clear example. You are a jerk. You know, how are you going to feel about that when someone tells you that? Well, I'm going to say you're going to react depending on who's saying it and how they're saying it. If I'm your friend and I say, gosh, you're a jerk, you're not going to feel or respond the same way as if somebody you don't know suddenly said, you are a jerk. Would you? No. Because your interpretation of those same words, of that same reality, is going to vary depending on your own beliefs, on your own worldview. So basically, people are going to take things their own way. And when we tell people to do things, to feel a certain way, to react a certain way, what we're trying to do is we're trying to put things inside their personal spheres. We're trying to force them to feel, think, or act the way we do, or the way we think they should. And that doesn't work like that. We cannot enter their personal spheres. Therefore, we have no power over their actions, thoughts, or reactions. Funny, huh? Have you ever thought about that? So, if that is so, you can actually not force anybody to feel more optimistic or positive or anything like that. You cannot. Am I therefore saying that there's nothing you can do? Not really. There is something you can do, and I'm actually doing it right now. You can talk. You can speak, explain, in the hope that the person you're talking to makes it theirs. In the hope that they say, hey, wait a minute, that makes sense. I want to question what I've believed until today, or the way I felt until today, and change it. I want to make that thought mine and put it in my own personal sphere. And when we do that, when we talk and we explain, we do it in the hope that they will make it theirs. A very clear example of this is children. You know, how many parents do you know that keep saying to their children, please tidy up after yourselves, please keep your room tidy, please. We all do it, don't we? And when they're very young, it sometimes doesn't work at all. And we get desperate. Oh, come on, why don't you listen to me? Why don't you do as I ask you to? I have 2 kids. They're already quite big, 26 and 18. And you know what I learned? I learned that when they became older and they started having visitors and friends coming over, then they started tidying up because they cared. Because everything I'd been telling them all those years suddenly made sense in their personal spheres. They suddenly wanted to look neat. They suddenly wanted their environment to look nice for their friends. So this is the first thing I wanted to share with you. You cannot enter people's personal spheres, but you can tell them, you can explain things. And whenever those things make sense, they will make them theirs. But there's something else. And this is the second thing I wanted to say. You cannot just preach and then do something else. If I tell you to be optimistic and then I act like this and I have no energy and I'm never happy and I never smile and I have a very, very negative mindset, whatever I say is not going to sound coherent or congruent in your mind. You're not going to believe me. And if you don't believe me, anything I say or do is going to sound fake to you, and you're not going to make it yours. Because you're going to think, well, if I do as she says, I'm not going to be optimistic, I'm going to be negative. I don't want that. So the second part of today's Moments of Inspiration with me is you have to really act the way you preach. You have to set an example. If you want people to be tidy, you have to have a tidy environment. If you want your children to be honest, you have to be honest yourself. If you want others to be optimistic and to have this positive mindset, you have to be optimistic and have that positive mindset yourself. If not, you're just saying one thing and acting something else, and they're not going to believe you. And if they don't believe you, nothing will work. I hope I gave you some food for thought today. I hope this moment of inspiration with me today makes you think about, first, the contents of your own personal sphere. What is it that you keep there? Is it what you want to have? Or would you like to question the contents and maybe change some of them. Second, are you telling others what you want of them? Are you explaining things to them so they can make it theirs whenever they're ready? Or are you feeling frustrated because they don't? And you keep on banging against their personal sphere without really entering it because you can't. And third, are you acting the act? Are you really doing what you're preaching? Are you being coherent and congruent? I would recommend that you really analyze yourself first to see what it is that you're portraying and sharing with others. That would be my answer today. If you think this is inspiring, if you think this can help you, please press some of those buttons here on Instagram and Facebook, like, love, whatever, and share it. Share it with others so that others also understand how we human beings work and they can also start taking control of their lives and their reality. Let's help others also be happier in their lives. I'm Jessica Lockhart from the International Institute of Humanology on Moments of Inspiration with Jessica Lockhart. I hope to have inspired you for this week and to see you next Monday here. Have a great week. Bye.